Hello everyone, I am Saloni Tyagi, Head of the Department Faculty of Law, Kalinga University. And today I am going to talk about fundamental rights which are provided under the Constitution of India. So if I talk about fundamental rights are essential human rights that are offered to every citizen irrespective of their caste, race, creed, place of birth, religion or gender. These are those rights, these are equal to freedom, and these rights are essential for personal good and society at large. These fundamental rights are being provided to all the citizens of the country so that they can live their life with dignity. So if I talk about fundamental rights, before talking about all the fundamental rights which are provided under the Constitution, first I would like to talk about state, which is provided under Article 12 of the Indian Constitution, which talks about state. So what do you mean by state? State includes the government and Parliament of India, and the government and the legislature of each of the states, and all local or other authorities within the territory of India which are under the control of Government of India. Why I am talking about state here? Because when we talk about fundamental rights, the first and the foremost thing that you need to know is that all the fundamental rights are given to the citizens and only state can infringe those rights. Individuals cannot infringe any other individual's fundamental rights. Only state can violate those rights or take away those rights or infringe those rights. So that is why first you need to know that why Article 12 is there and what state includes. So as I already told you, that state includes all the organizations which are under the control of the Government of India. So now let's talk about fundamental rights. We have 6 fundamental rights provided under Constitution of India. The first one is the right to equality. Second, the right to freedom. Third, right to freedom from exploitation. Fourth, right to freedom of religion. Fifth, cultural and educational rights. And sixth, the right to constitutional remedies. So now if I talk about right to equality, Article 14 of Indian Constitution talks about right to equality. It says that all the citizens shall be equally protected by the laws of the country and they will have the access to all the public areas without any kind of discrimination. Basically, this specific thing is being provided under Article 15 of the Indian Constitution, which specifically states that no person shall be discriminated on the basis of their caste, color, language, etc. Every person shall have equal access to all the public places which includes any public park, museum, well, bathing ghats and temples, etc. However, the state may make any special provision for women and children, which means that here we have some specific exceptions. By using those specific provisions, state has the right to make any special provision for women and children. That doesn't mean that discrimination will be there, but there are exceptions for the people who are underprivileged. Article 15 specifically states that the state shall not discriminate against any citizen on grounds only of religion, caste, sex, place of birth or any of them. It says that no citizen shall, on ground of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth or any of them, be subject to any disability, liability, restriction or condition with regard to access to the shops, public restaurants, hotels, place of public entertainment, any other place like they cannot be discriminated or they cannot be, they cannot be restricted to usage of wells, tanks, roads, places of public resort maintained by the state funds or the places which are totally dedicated to the use of general public. So under Article 15, as I said that there are exceptions also which are provided under Article 15 of the Indian Constitution, which says that state has the right to make any special provision for women and children. So in this regard, Article 15 says that the state can make any special provision for the advancement of any socially, educationally backward classes of citizens or the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, because they are underprivileged. They have been through a lot of exploitation. So here, these are the sections, vulnerable section of the society, for which state can make any specific special provision to provide them some special advancement. Now, if I talk about Article 16, which talks about equality of opportunity in matters of public employment. So, this article says that there shall be equality of opportunity for all citizens in matters relating to employment or appointment to any office under the state. It says that employment will be provided to each and every individual without discrimination. And here the employment word which we are using, under the state, that means all the state organization, national level organizations, they cannot discriminate while providing the employment. No citizen shall, on grounds of religion, race, caste, descent, place of birth, resident, or any of them, be ineligible for or discriminated against in respect of any employment or office under the state. Now, here in this article, it says that no citizen shall be discriminated on the basis of few specific factors when they go for employment in any state or national level organization. And here also, there is one exception which says that Parliament can make law in regard to a class or classes of employment or appointment to any office under the government or any local or other authority within the state or union territory. Any requirement as to residence within the state or union territory prior to such employment or appointment. Now, if I talk about Article 17, which talks about abolition of untouchability. So, untouchability is already abolished, and its practice in any form is forbidden. The enforcement of any disability arising out of untouchability shall be an offence which will be punishable in accordance with the law. So, this article says that no person can be discriminated, or they cannot be, pronounced as untouchable in the country, as it is forbidden by the law. Article 18, it says abolition of titles. That means no title, not being a military or academic distinction, shall be conferred by the state. Any citizen of India cannot accept any title from any foreign state. No person who is a citizen of India shall, while he holds any office of profit or trust under the state, accept without the consent of the president any title from any foreign state. It says that any person who is a citizen of India cannot accept any kind of title from the foreign state. But if they want to accept any title from the foreign country, they have to take the consent of the President of India. It says that no person holding any office of profit or trust under the state shall, without the consent of the President, accept any present, emolument, or office of any kind from or any foreign state. So, apart from title, any person who holds any office of profit in the country under the state, they cannot accept any present, emolument, or any kind from any foreign state without the consent of the President of India. Now, I will talk about Article 19, which is right to freedom. Here, a lot of rights are provided under this specific article, which is Article 19. It says that freedom of speech and expression. Freedom, what do you mean by freedom? Freedom which enables an individual to participate in public activities. The phrase freedom of press has not been used in Article 19, but freedom of expression includes freedom of press. Freedom to assemble peacefully, without arms, on which the state can impose reasonable restriction in the interest of public order and the sovereignty and integrity of India. So here when we talk about we have a specific right to assemble peacefully without arms. At the same time, we have few restriction on our right, which says that if any individual would work against the interest of public order and if it hurts the sovereignty and integrity of India, then state has the right to impose some reasonable restriction on this specific right. Third, the freedom to form association or unions, on which the state can impose reasonable restriction on this freedom in the interest of public order, morality, sovereignty and integrity of India. Fourth, freedom to move freely throughout the country or territory of India. Freedom, though reasonable restriction, can be imposed on this right in the interest of the general public. For example, restrictions can be imposed on movement and traveling so as to control epidemics. Fifth, freedom to reside and settle in any part of the territory of India, which also subjects to reasonable restriction by the state in the interest of the general public or for the protection of the scheduled tribes, because certain safeguards are envisaged here seem to be justified to protect indigenous and tribal peoples from exploitation and coercion.